Everyone should make every effort to avoid taxes legally. There are, of course, numerous tax shelters and schemes that can help you pay less tax. We're looking at some simple strategies that will help you avoid taxes legally. These strategies are used by some of the richest people in the world to make sure they pay very little in taxes. Accumulate wealth and borrow against assets. This is the preferred strategy of billionaires, particularly billionaires who run large public companies. They often take very small or no salaries from their companies. Instead, they are rewarded with shares and share options. In that way, they're accumulating wealth tax-free. They're not taxed on the value of their assets. They're only taxed when they sell the shares. When they need cash, they simply arrange a loan against their assets. They can have access to as much cash as they need and never pay tax on it. Anyone can adopt the same strategy if they're in control of their income. Move to a tax haven country. Provided your country doesn't tax based on citizenship, simply pack up and move. There are dozens of countries that are tax havens. You can live there without ever receiving a tax demand or filing a return. Even more countries don't tax income that is generated overseas. Many Europeans move to tax havens like Monaco or Dubai, where they can live an amazing lifestyle while paying nothing in taxes. This strategy will also protect your family from inheritance taxes. Spend less than 6 months per year in any country. This strategy was popular in the 80s and 90s. Back then, they were called perpetual travelers. Today, they're known as digital nomads. As long as you spend less than 6 months per year in any one country, you can avoid taxes legally. Different countries have their own rules, however. If you've been a UK resident, you'll want to avoid spending more than 90 days there after you go offshore. If you want to spend part of the year in the USA, it's best not to spend more than 4 months there every year. Get a second citizenship. Taxation is based on residency, not citizenship for most countries. The exception to this is the USA. If you have a US passport, you're obliged to pay taxes whether you live there or not. You also have the tedious prospect of filing a tax return with the IRS every year. If you're a US citizen and never want to file a tax return with the IRS again, you'll have to renounce your US citizenship and get a second citizenship. Citizens of other countries like the UK, Canada, and Australia should watch out for a version of citizenship taxation coming their way soon. It's best to prepare today to get a second citizenship, in case you need it as a future strategy to avoid taxes legally. Accumulate wealth in offshore companies and trusts. Profits and assets accumulated in offshore companies and trusts are not taxed if the structure is set up correctly. The trust can lend money when you need it, or even buy assets. Your overseas company or trust, for example, could buy a house that you live in. You would pay rent to the overseas entity. Start a charitable foundation. Ever wonder why so many high-profile business leaders and politicians have their own charitable foundations? Think the Clinton Foundation or the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. If you have a charitable foundation, you can donate assets to the foundation tax-free, while maintaining control of those assets in the foundation. The charitable foundation can pay all sorts of expense for you related to its activities. This can include items such as travel expenses, offices, and employee salaries. Please subscribe to our channel and follow the link in the description to get a free copy of your Wealth Fortress. With this report, you'll learn unique and valuable strategies for keeping your assets completely hidden, untouchable, and untrackable by anyone. No matter how much money you have, you'll learn carefully crafted strategies so that nobody can find it or even know what you have. Your assets will remain untouchable even with a team of the best global lawyers. Well-funded governments will not be able to lay a finger on your wealth. It's all detailed in your Wealth Fortress. Bulletproof structures to protect your assets. Follow the link in the description to get instant access.